Sporty greetings to my sports fans. The 2025 Australian Open is upon us. It's the first Grand Slam event of the year, and I love it so much because it does a good job in getting tennis fans pumped up for the real action. Defending champions Jannik and Aryna Sabalenka are easy favorites to win it, but hey, they should be ready because there are plenty challengers hoping to knock them off their perches. This man, Novak Djokovic, tops the list. With 10 Australian Open titles in his cabinet, he deserves to be called Mr. Melbourne. He loves winning in Melbourne, and they love him too, But 2024 wasn't particularly a good year for Novak Djokovic, and that's why he has employed Andy Murray, the respected Andy Murray, to be by his corner as part of his coaching team to see if he can do something different at the Australian Open this year. But 2024 didn't leave without Djokovic smiling on with the Olympics gold medal. He loves winning. He just loves it. So he went to the Olympics to take that off his bucket list. But I think there's a problem. It might not be a real problem to some of Novak Djokovic fans or Djokovic himself, but I think it's a distraction. And if it keeps coming up, it might stop the Serbian from winning a record-extending 11th title in Melbourne. Let me give you the background story. For real fans of Novak Djokovic, you just can't forget the dramatic 2022. You remember? Yes, that's COVID year. Novak Djokovic was deported from the Australian city of Melbourne that year after arriving without a vaccination against the deadly coronavirus. COVID-19 at the time was a big issue. There was a pandemic worldwide. The deportation came when he failed to overturn a decision from the Australian government to cancel his visa on public health grounds. Now, there were a lot of back and forth, and Djokovic said, look, now, I'm not taking the vaccine, but I want to compete. So at the end of the day, the Australian government couldn't take the risk. I think Djokovic was quarantined, and while he was kept in a private area, definitely he will be fed. This is the champ, it's the big boy, it's Novak Djokovic. Now, let's fast forward. All of that happened, and Novak Djokovic granted an interview to GQ magazine. Now, according to the BBC, Djokovic alleged that I realized that in that hotel in Melbourne, I was fed with some food that poisoned me, he added. I had a really high level of heavy metal, Djokovic said. I had the lead, very high level of lead and mercury. That's a very big allegation, right? That the Australian Border Force, they're yet to respond to this. Probably a bit of public relations going on. We'll get you ready for the Australian Open. Just keep it quiet so the media won't jump on it. Maybe right after that competition, we will, talk about it. I'm just, using my experience in PR and communications to think that way and all of that. So Novak Djokovic attended a press conference, and a reporter asked him about that allegation, and this is how the champ responded to it.
I've done that interview many months ago, so I would appreciate not talking more in detail about that, as I would like to focus on the tennis and why I'm here. If you want to see what I've said...
Do you not agree it's a problem? But big ups to Novak Djokovic. He did a good job with his response to that question. But with my experience in this business, this news gathering and dissemination business, Novak Djokovic praise up, because that conversation will not go. Not after the Australian Open, until everyone gets their own interpretation to that big allegation you made, Novak Djokovic. So I don't know how he's going to deal with it, but hopefully this is not going to affect Djokovic mentally, because he's chasing the records. But his PR team should be ready. That conversation will not go away anytime. So it will keep coming, because it's a really big one. Talking about food poisoning, and people can read a lot of meanings to that. So Djokovic, all the best. Brace up, as I said. This won't go away. It will keep coming. So there you go. What do you think? Djokovic response, the allegations. And of course, the Australian Open proper. Who do you think will go on to win it? Who can stop Jannik, Carlos Alcaraz, I like Alexander Zverev. Hopefully this time he will do something. And of course, the women, Aryna, Sabalenka, the women's category is a bit open. You know, anything can happen. So let's talk about the Australian Open. Let's talk about tennis. Let's talk about Novak Djokovic. I'll keep giving you guys updates on this channel. That's it.